Welcome back to LoyalTV. We're all familiar with the movie monsters such as Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Mummy, and Dracula. But some might not know that the fearsome foursome who scared countless throughout the decades were all born on the same day, more than a century ago, in a park right here in Oklahoma City.
Of all the stories that I've heard about Belle Isle Park, and events and people coming and going, one of my favorites involves the family of Lon Chaney. Well, his parents were on the vaudeville circuit. And vaudeville has its golden age from 1900 to 1920, the same year as Belle Isle was open. So these vaudeville players who would be on this circuit, perhaps going from Dallas to Kansas City, would stop in Oklahoma City and play. And they were playing every night. And so here come the families, and one of them was Lon Chaney Jr. and his wife. And so they're playing at Belle Isle, and the story is she's pregnant, and all of a sudden she said, "The baby's coming." And so the doctor rushes in, and the story goes that the baby is not breathing when he is born. And they dip him in the waters of Belle Isle Lake, and it startles the baby, and he gets the cry and lives to be a movie star.
But the path to stardom for Lon Chaney Jr. wasn't a straight line. In his youth, the family had little income, so Lon was sent to stay with his grandmother in Oklahoma. Then when his parents separated in 1915, he lived in a nearby children's home. His father went on to make motion picture history in silent movies, earning the nickname Man of a Thousand Faces for his work in The Hunchback of Notre Dame and The Phantom of the Opera. As Lon Chaney Sr. became a star, he wanted his boy to pursue a more stable career. So young Lon worked as a newsboy, butcher's helper, iceman, clothing salesman, and plumber. But when his father died in 1930, he changed his name to Lon Chaney Jr. from his birth name, Creighton Tull, to build on his father's fame.
His career completely took off when he changed his name from Creighton Tull Chaney to Lon Chaney Jr., and he starred in Of Mice and Men, which is crazy to think about, but the novel was pretty new when the movie was made. It was about 5 years old, and his interpretation of Lennie would influence cartoons. So much stuff in popular culture would come from his interpretation of Lennie, and of course, Burgess Meredith as George. That was just how people, when you'd read the book, you'd think of Lon Chaney Jr.'s performance in the movie. It's a very famous performance.
Lon Chaney Jr.'s career grew exponentially. He went on to act in over 170 films, his most notable being his frightening performance as the Wolfman, which made him the creature feature leader. And using his father's makeup kit, he created many classic horror faces, including Frankenstein's monster in The Ghost of Frankenstein, Count Dracula in Son of Dracula, and 3 mummy films.
Yeah, I personally am a huge horror movie fan. I was raised on those early Universal movies. The Wolfman is far and away the most entertaining of them all. It looks the best. His performance in it just draws you in so much more than, I love Bela Lugosi and Dracula. I love Boris Karloff and Frankenstein, but the Wolfman, there's sort of a humanity to the Wolfman that Lon Chaney Jr. brought to the movie that the other monsters in the Universal catalog don't exactly have. And of course, later, he went on to do Frankenstein, Dracula. So he had a long career of doing those kinds of movies after the Wolfman.
Chaney passed away on July 12, 1973. In 1997, his performance as the Wolfman was honored on a U.S. postage stamp. Despite his most famous works being nearly 80 years old, Lon Chaney's legacy lives on in the film community of Oklahoma City.
I personally love knowing that Lon Chaney Jr. is from Oklahoma City. That's wonderful to know. In Oklahoma City, this may be a little inside baseball, but Tulsa has a lot of cinema history, and Oklahoma City does not exactly. So anything we can get is great. And knowing that Lon Chaney Jr. is from Oklahoma City, definitely take it. Definitely exciting to know. and I love it.
Thanks for joining us. And remember to come back for more of the best Oklahoma stories you've never heard, right here on LoyalTV.